The third bag we introduced in 2001 was our craft travel wallet, and they do work really well for jewelry, makeup, accessories, medications when you're traveling, and also as little needle cases, something for your minor threads, and you'll see the functionality of it. So this is how you can fill it with your bits of jewelry, and when you travel you can keep it in your handbag and it stays tucked away and it's viewable if anybody wants to see the contents. The same bag is used for your crafty bits and pieces, smaller items preferably, and needles, your sewing machine feet, etc. And the fact that it folds up into this little wallet is a great idea. And if you feel like you need it to embellish the bag, you can do some wonderful stuff on the bag. The measurements of this bag is 11.5 centimeters by 14 centimeters. And in inches, it is 4.5 by 5.5 inches.
Hi. I thought I'd follow up the Yazzii post on their Yazzii travel wallet with just a small demonstration of how I did my travel wallet. So there's a couple of things you need. You're going to need, of course, the Yazzii travel wallet. This comes in all kinds of sizes, or all kinds of colors, I should say. And you're going to need the Cape Flower Needle Keeper pattern by Sue Spargo. This pattern you can get as a pattern or you can get as a kit. If you're going to get the kit, you won't be able to make some of the changes unless you have some extra scraps of matchy wool, but we'll get into that in a minute. So first, let me discuss the travel wallet. So the travel wallet, as I said, it comes in many colors, and it's 5 3/4 by 4.5 inches. It has 4 clear plastic pouches with zippers. And if you flip it over, this is the outside. So that's pretty plain for me. So what I decided is that I needed to jazz up my Yazzii. So what I did is I created mine using Sue's pattern. The first thing you might notice in the pattern, Sue's actually only has the one flower on the face, and I decided to do 2. So I had extra wool that matched this kit, and so I was able to add the additional flower. I think it looks nice because when I close mine, you can see the flowers on this side or on that side. So I think that makes it really cute. So what I'm going to suggest is you buy this pattern. It's $32 American, I believe, and you should be able to get that at any of your Sue Spargo local shops that carry Sue Spargo. And of course you're going to need this Yazzii wallet. So what I did is I simply followed the instructions, and Sue has great instructions in here for doing the travel wallet. So just follow along. Once you get to the inside is where I decided to make some more changes. And as you can see, here's the inside. I decided that these clear pouches, I wanted to be clear so that I could see what items I need to grab quickly. But I also wanted to have a pouch that was kind of private. So, I don't know, I go to a lot of retreats and stuff, and I could slide a little bit of cash in here. I could slide my credit card in. I could slide things that don't necessarily want to be seen. And then I have my needle stop. I can't live without needle stops. Every bag I make, everything I make, I always have needle stops. I simply cut a piece of wool the exact same size as one of these sections. I then decided to cut out some circles, do a little fancy stitching on here, and when I thought that looked good enough, I just took it, grabbed some Wonderfill Invisifill 80 weight thread, and I stitched along the edge and whip stitched this all down on 3 of the sides, and left this bottom side by this zipper open. Now I did that making sure that of course you don't catch your zipper and you don't catch this zipper, and the reason I left this bottom edge originally open was so that I could slide some quilt batting in here. So I slid some pieces that I had, some scraps, and patted it up till I thought it looked okay and would have enough oomph to hold my needles. And then I just simply whip stitched it down again with Invisifill, and you can't even see it. Another idea I've come up with, I'm going to be redoing it. I've come up with something else I want to try, but I would recommend you could couch down one of a lovely number 3 weight organza thread and along all these edges, and again just make sure you don't cover your needle stop. And then I took a look at it and I thought, well, it still doesn't look jazzy enough, so I cut 1/4 inch ribbon, cut 4 pieces, and I simply added them onto these little bias sections that are nicely sewn onto the travel wallet, and I just simply covered those by again just whip stitching it down. It holds it really well, and it makes a really cute looking needle case. So this is just my short clip. If you have any further questions, you can always contact me through Facebook at Sherry Sews or Instagram, Sherry Manson. But I hope you enjoyed this little video on the Yazzii travel wallet. Oh, remember, post pictures and tag it Yazzii travel wallet cake flower, and I'd like to see what you guys do. Okay, bye for now.
welcome to my sewing studio. I wanted to share something with you today. This is my toolkit for my sewing machines. I sit here between the two machines, and this is what I use to work on my machines. When I have to clean them, pick out threads, change feet, I have everything in this little bag. I have my grease and my oils in one compartment so they can't get anything messed up. I've got my Q-tips and my little, whatever you call these little things, my little swabs. In here, I have the duster. I have a flashlight for when you cannot find what you're looking for underneath there. Works really good. And here, I mean, I have every screwdriver I need. I have all the tools I need. And then look at this. I pop it in the drawer and it's not in the way and it works so nice. You need that. This is the little project pouch by Yazzii, and it is worth every penny of it.
Hi, this is Yazzii, the designer of the Yazzii craft storage bags. I'm going to share with you today the little trinket fold-up case that I've designed not too long ago. Sometimes when you're going away and you're taking it to your craft classes, you might need some needles, a few sewing machine feet. It's just enough for you to view everything, carry it, fold it up, and take it with you in some of our larger bags. So I thought giving you 6 perfect pockets, and these are all gusseted pockets. So to give you an indication, I've just placed some of these in there so you can see that they all fit inside, and this bag closes perfectly. You might want to embellish this bag. You might want to put a little trim in here. You might want to do some beading on the bags. They do work for embellishments as well, but I thought this became quite a necessity now for beaders who wanted little pockets just to keep their fine supplies in there. So I think this is a very functional bag as a one-off thing. I personally use this to keep my bits of jewelry, some rings, whatever I need as a little jewelry case. So it's just to show you that you can put your smaller items, some buttons and beads, and some pins and needles, and you will some safety pins. They're perfect for very small items. So I hope you enjoy that. This is CA516. It's a very little pouch that will show you, you can keep your beads, you can keep a few sewing machine feet in there. I know I use them for my earrings and my jewelry and my fine necklaces when I travel. So it's got 6 pockets. You can see the measurements and things. When it folds up, you've got the Velcro, and it sits together in any of our larger bags. So you might not have as many sewing machine feet or your needles as well. You can place them in this bag. And the code is 516. Okay, the next product I'm going to show you is an oval little craft box that we've introduced recently. And the reason was that everyone that's been using our products for many, many years asked for just an empty, simple Yazzii box because they love the quality, they love the finish, they love that they can embellish these bags. They wanted an empty box. They said, no pockets, we will figure it out. We use your bags for years now, and this would just make it a little addition to your collection. And we'd like you to provide that facility for us. So I went ahead and created something that's a different shape, as you can see, which is quite cute. And what I did is I did not add any pocket internally in here too. So you've got this canvas area in here. You can embroider on it directly, machine embroider. You can do some beading. You can do some wool applique on it. It gives you a lot of flexibility. So what I'm going to show you is someone's done some felt and wool work on it. So whatever stash you've got, just create your own little idea, whip stitch it along the front of the bag. So it's just an empty bag and it works very well. The other bag that people like to buy with this, in case you feel you need it, you don't have to, but we also provide these two pouches, which I'm going to cover in a little while. But I just want you to see that if you do feel you want to add on to this bag as an empty bag, sometimes you might just use one in there for your smaller items. You might use both, and you might eventually take this out and use it on another bag. So this works very well as just an empty bag, and that was because all of you asked for it over the years, and I thought it was a perfect time to bring it in. So over here, I've just pinned some fabrics. I've given you an idea of the fact that it can be used very well as just an empty little sewing box. If you're preparing something for your grandchildren, someone's going away, moving house, and you want to prepare a little sewing box, it's perfect. So I've just thrown in all these bits and pieces to give you a visual of what you can put in there. I know it can get messy. That's why I suggest those little pouches that sometimes might make the smaller items organize themselves, and you can put your larger items, maybe some fabrics on top, and it's your choice. As I said, all our bags are flexible. You can also take it away to throw all your makeup, your larger makeup, your medication. And it's a cute little bag to carry away, hardly any weight. Even if it's in your suitcase or your hand luggage, it's perfect. So I'm going to show you a video on it. But before I do that, I want to show you, this is where someone's done some machine embroidery. They did not want to get into the felting and stuff. So this is direct machine embroidery on the bag. That's one idea. This is where a very dear friend of mine, Sue Spargo, I'm sure you've all heard of her and follow her closely over the years. She's done these little patches, and she teaches you how to embellish these bags. And basically, you can apply this patch in many of our bags once you've learned the technique. It's her technique of embroidery that she's sharing with you, and it just happens to be perfect for a Yazzii bag. So when you're out there amongst 20 people who are carrying the Yazzii oval craft box, at least yours will be prettier than the rest of them. Then I've got a Sue from Indigo Niche Designs has also done some sashiko on this bag. Again, it's a very simple idea, but it makes it look perfect. It's beautiful. You feel if you've given it to your grandmother or your mum for Christmas or a sister that you've actually personalized it with your own effort and dedication and creativity and imagination, and it's appreciated because you'll be surprised they will be using it for many years to come. That I am absolutely certain about. So let me play a little video, a couple of clips for you, because you will enjoy this bag. Hi, this is Yazzii from Melbourne, Australia. I'm the designer of the Yazzii craft storage bags. Today I'm going to demonstrate 3 sets of pouches that we created for the Yazzii bags, and they complement all my larger bags. You can fit them in any of the bags that you need to. Often you're looking for just little loose pockets that you might want to carry your projects in. I personally, as a non-crafter, use some or many of them for my makeup, my jewelry, my medications, and in my handbag you might find 3 of them sitting with various items in there. So the choice is yours, and I do feel that it's something that becomes quite important even as a gift idea for friends, for your Kris Kringles, for birthdays. Every woman today needs a little pouch, and as we're getting older and we can't find things easily and they're not easily accessible, these pouches work brilliantly. So I'm going to start with the smallest set, which is CA420. So I've given you 2 rectangle pouches that can fit in any of my bags, and the dimensions are 20 by 14 centimeters, and it's 8 by 5.25 inches. Now these are just 2 of them. They're 2 craft pouches. They can be makeup pouches. You can put your jewelry in there. They're quite multifunctional in the way they're used. And I will repeat the code. It's CA420. The next set of pouches I've introduced are a set of 3, and these are of various sizes. So I definitely would like to tell you that the sizes, when these actually get nestled into each other, so you've got a total 1 pouch in there, and that's 17 by 17 centimeters, and it's 6.75 by 6.75 inches. So you've got 3 of them used in whichever way you want to, and they come nestled in each other, and that makes a lovely little idea that is multifunctional for your craft and your jewelry accessories. The third item I'd like to present is our Notions 3-piece pouch, and that is CA510. In this particular set, I tried to go again in a group of pouches that get nestled and come in packed in each other, and giving you 3 various sizes that you might want to keep your larger projects in. You might want to keep other notions and supplies. This might be great for your threads. The choice is yours. They're actually just empty pouches that you can use, and when you do take them away, you can see what you've got in your classroom and put them all away. So this is a CA510. It's the Notions 3-piece pouch. Then you've got the CA405 again. They're slightly smaller sizes. And then you've got the CA420, identical sizes. It's a 2-piece set, and they both are rectangle pouches. I'm sure you're going to find lots of uses for them, and all your stitching and supplies will fit beautifully in them. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Becky Goldsmith from Piece of Cake, and I want to show you these handy dandy Yazzii craft pouches. They are similar to the pouches that are sewn into many of the organizers, and I showed you in a different video how you can release these from the organizer. You just use your little ripper and remove those stitches, and these pockets come out. Or you can get standalone craft pouches. They come 3 to a set. There's a big one, a middle-sized one, and a small one. Oops, let me get that out of there. And a small one. Now, how do they compare in size to the ones inside the mini petite organizer? That one is smaller. This is about the same, but it's taller. So this one you could use inside the mini petite organizer. The others you would use separately or with one of the bigger Yazzii organizers. So there's 3 to a set. I love these things. I love them separate. I use them all the time. I use them, of course, for sewing notions, but you can use them for all kinds of things. Jewelry, makeup, pills, I don't know, all kinds of things. So here is the blue set, aqua, I believe is what we call it. Comes in green and purple, and this lovely pink and red. Another personal favorite. So, well, actually, I like them all. So there we go. The Yazzii craft pouches, handy dandy. I think you need some. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Yazzii, and I'm the designer of the Yazzii craft storage bags. I'm going to demonstrate our iron storage case today. The code is CA580. About 14 years ago in Australia, there were this size of a little mini iron that was sold at the various shows. And I thought of a bag that'll fit perfectly the iron with its cords and anything else. So this is your little mini iron, and these are the cords behind it. So we were able to sell these in Australia for many years, and I found as I moved into the US, these irons were still not readily available. And I did wonder about it, but it didn't matter because I figured, someday we'll get there. And this was working beautifully for the Australian crafters who actually owned an iron like this. When I did go to Houston a few times, occasionally I would have people buy this bag for this purpose. We have a center strip in here where they can be unpicked and it'll become a full iron storage case. That did fit the Rowenta iron, and it did fit your Clover irons in the US. So we were okay, but we didn't sell the numbers that we did in Australia because there were fewer people with those irons, and this iron was still not available. So anyway, about 4 or 5 years ago, we started noticing an increase in this particular, and the interest increased as well in this bag, because this iron was available in the US, and since then, we've just sold heaps of those bags, and it does work. Now, what I would like to say is often you're buying the bag, and then someone would contact me and say, my little iron doesn't fit in this particular version, but you just need to unpick this area. Also, look at the dimensions of the bags and don't try and fit something larger if it's not meant to be for this bag. The dimensions closed for this iron storage case is 22.5 by 10.5 by 9 centimeters, and it's 8.5 by 4.1 by 3.5 inches. So this is what it was meant to do initially. It has been used for various other little sizes of irons, and when you think about it, it's perfect for you to go to your class and carry it with you. Your next question, which is obvious, and I understand that totally, you're going to ask me if I can put a hot iron in this bag. No, you can't. The reason is we need a Teflon piece at the base, and for the price of this item, it'll cost too much for me to send that Teflon back to the factory in India and reship it to you. I get a lot of crafters say two things. They go to Joann's, they go to Michael's, they might go to Spotlight here in Australia. Whatever they do, they buy that $2 Teflon and they just set it up in the base of this bag and it works. Secondly, there's also a point of thinking saying that you never put a hot iron even at home on just a surface. So using some common sense, this should work actually. And for 14 years that we've sold this bag, we've had not a single customer who's come up and said that my iron storage bag was destroyed. So while you're chatting and saying goodbye to your friends in your quilt classes and your retreats, it takes 2 or 3 minutes for it to cool slightly, and this bag will work fabulously for you. So I hope you can appreciate this bag, and I know we've had people absolutely love them for many years.